Good afternoon. Day is the 26th of June and I'm coming to you live from my house. Where else would I be? And I'm reading the news that air conditioning is not to be encouraged, and councils in London, in England, are ripping out by order of the police and the powers that be perfectly functioning air conditioning units and telling the homeowners to open the windows. A lot of ground to cover here. When new homes are built now, and I'm here in France, they are obsessed since 2012, when I did my plumbing diploma in France, with protecting against the cold. So in 2012 you had a load of new regulations come in. Everything's got to be good against the cold. No thought given to heat. And when you see new builds being built, they are pavilions, they're bungalows, like 100 square metre, which is, if you're in America, 1,000 square feet. You can multiply it by 10. 1,000 square feet concrete base, single story, no overlap on the roof to provide shade, just kind of like bland and banal as you could possibly wish for. That's what they give you, and they're made of a kind of an air brick. It's about 6 inches thick, 15 centimeters thick, which are not as good as concrete. If you had a concrete wall, it's going to crush sound pollution, so you get a quieter house, but you need extra reinforcement to protect you in the cold weather. In the hot weather you'd be okay. If you've got a concrete wall, a bit of shade on it, you don't need anything else. But in the winter you might want an internal protection, but that's not the point. The point is they build houses in France now, in the land of opportunity, equal opportunity, right? This is a country where this week, during this heat wave, a school in Nîmes or down in the south, a group of parents got together and had a whip around, as we say in English, for air conditioning units to air condition the school. The mayor found out about this in the commune, and he wasn't happy because, well, the story is that basically somebody wasn't happy because other poor kids, right, didn't have the luxury of having parents provide air conditioning. So many people called for the school to deinstall the air conditioning that the parents had paid for to put in, because hey, if poor children suffer, why should rich pupils with rich parents be able to buy their way out of the problem? So it's kind of dragging everyone down to the lowest level, instead of like poor parents. They're not poor anyway. They earn a lot more money than I do. If you're in France with 3 kids, you could just kick back and relax. Honestly, you get shitloads of money. It's the people that go out and work, and God forbid you've got no kids, because you're basically just the state just like leeches off you. And that's one reason why French entrepreneurs are kind of miserable, because they got a hard life. Being an entrepreneur in France is fucking hard. Think America, and then think the opposite is France. But getting back to new builds in France, in the country that is so woke, it's so going to save the planet. It's going to show everybody how to save the planet, right? Because hey, we know, because we're French, and we're going to show you how to save the planet, and we're going to make you suffer because we're Catholics as well. And being a Catholic, you have to suffer because you're an arsehole, right? You are scum. And we're here to tell you that in this land of equality and fraternity and liberty, which is a myth, by the way, because you've got 2 tiers of... It's quite equality if you are a civil servant, for example. Yeah, that's great. If If you're not a civil servant, like I say, if you're a private individual who has his own business and provides a service and a real function, not a made-up function and a protected kind of species function, then the state is against you. So that is the emblematic system of France is, that we all know and love, equality, fraternity, is rubbish. It's only for unionised civil service workers. Everybody else, it's like c'est la merde, quoi. It's like shit minimum wage, high cost of living, no job security, 0-hour contracts. It's bollocks. And all these people that are strident about the climate crisis and how France is going to save the planet, they're all civil servants. They're the first people to work from home and be paid for it for doing nothing. You know the type, right? I don't need to go on. So France has got this system of building houses that are just useless. Like so many things that are upgraded, like you name it, the upgrade is usually worse, right? They don't respect the ancients, les anciens, ancient. They don't respect our forefathers and the knowledge that we gathered for over millennia. Like you have a cellar, right? You have a cellar, and you have roof space. You don't build a flat roof bungalow with no cellar. What is the point of that? That's not eco at all. That's not ecological. That's not value for money. If you're going to go to the trouble of building a house on a concrete base, put a cellar in. They don't put cellars in because they're full of shit. Like in Britain, they are full of shit, right? And this is why people are going crazy, because now you've got like air conditioners being ripped out and frowned upon. Or you can't have an air conditioner because it will raise the temperature in the street by 2 degrees or 1.5 degrees or whatever. These people are an absolute menace. They don't know what they're doing. They're incompetent, and they have taken over. And it's really, it's not pathetic. It's really bad. I don't know. It's like, it is what it is. Obviously, I don't need to fill in the gaps there. You know that you can come up with the adjective of your own choice, but it's complete bollocks. Basically, we are being run by useless idiots at the behest of their great lifestyle, because they work for the government, right? If you work for the government, ça va quoi, you're okay. And these people are feted and given long holidays and sick days and work from home and retire early. I've got stress, I'll take, just retire. And who's paying for all this largesse? We are. The ordinary people who work for a living, who produce things, and we are paying for the state's grandiose fucking rhetoric and nonsense, and the world's going crazy because of it. People have had enough. I mean, we've got climate fucking meltdown on one hand, and let's go to war with Russia. Let's support a full-on war. Let's pay Ukraine. Let's pay the elite in Ukraine all the money we have, because they've got no money, right? England and Britain have got no money. They are broke. They're broke, right? But they dig out, well, they create inflation. They inflate the money supply to pay for it, which creates inflation. The inflation of the money supply creates inflation. So they gave, the EU collectively, which is basically France and Germany at the end of the day, and Holland, I guess, because like Mark Rutte he's NATO, right? So yeah, give him a seat at the table, that useless fucker who was fired from his role in the EU for being a useless fucker and fell into a position of at NATO. Let's give Ukraine 80 billion, and let's give them 80 billion next year, but we need to probably increase that because of inflation. So getting back to houses, right? Getting back to how they've got no respect for the people's elders and how things were done before. Like you see it everywhere: road signs, road layouts, packaging, shrinkflation, internet sites that were good and get fucked up because like some 26-year-old thinks he can. Everything's catered for a mobile phone and not for people on the internet on a computer. So there's no thought, there's no consideration. There's no consideration for old people. There's no consideration for young people because young people don't know any better. I'm 62, as I mentioned in my other video, and I know what life was like before. If you're 34, you don't know. If you're 26, you don't know. You know, if you're 26, you're born in the year 2000. In the year 2000, I was 36, and I was at St. Paul's. I was at Parliament Square for the River of Fire. So we've got idiots at the wheel, you know, useful idiots and bastards, because not all of them are useful idiots. Some of them are quite what's the word? Malevolent, you know, they've got ill intentions basically. They're not helpful and they don't care if people suffer the Catholic way. And so you'll buy a house, right? Now there's a house for sale in my village. It's 2,700 euros a square metre, which is about 3 times more than this place is, 1,000. And there's no cellar. And it's a single story. And it's going to get very, very hot. And people are being ripped off. Like people are ripped off with Linky meters, smart meters. Get rid of your old car and buy a fucking electric one. We're going to have a pile of e-waste in, you know, in a decade. You're going to look back and go, God almighty, the things that the people did in 2026 to save the planet, right? All this hubris, all this largesse, all this arrogance, so arrogant, and such gaslighting. Like, yeah, let's have open borders, sure, you know, let all the world come into Europe. It's fine. Meanwhile, I need a bigger boat, and I need to live in Monaco, and I need to not pay any more tax than somebody who's like, you know, we're led by monsters, and that's why people are upset, you know. And people who are now sweltering away in 33-degree flats, who can't sleep, bedrooms like 33, 34. I saw an idiot who's on French TV. I was never a fan of him. I saw him on X the other day talking about, oh, it's all the same, and people who say that I suffer more than you in the heat. It's a load of nonsense. I've lived in a fucking attic apartment. I know what the difference is between a cellar and a ground floor, or a detached house and a terraced house that faces south. There are factors that aggravate, that increase the heat, right? And for this pompous idiot to sit there in a TV studio and go, oh, it's all the same. These people who moan about heat, it's hot at my house. The fuck, man. This is the kind of gaslighting that goes on. This is what people have to listen to. This is why people are pissed off. This is why people are like, the fuck. And it's always gone on. It's gone. I've just been looking into decimalisation in Britain, and in February 1971 they brought it in. They go from 240 pennies to 100 overnight. That is inflation. And to prepare for that, you had 18 months, 2 years of rising oil prices, loose fiscal policy, which we are all aware of today, you know, with QE and everything since 2008, which is another racket, right? Basically, we're surrounded by criminals and useful idiots, and that's why people are pissed. They really are a bunch of evil scum, you know, propping up, killing Ukrainians. Let's put it like that. They don't care about Ukrainians. They care about making money on the fly, selling arms. So if you're a politician in Europe, nominally unelected, because nobody votes for the 20 seats of the European Commission, they are unelected. And the I don't know, how many are there? 600? Just in France, MEPs that are on £10,000 a month. They're on 120k a year net. And they have no power. They're just this. There's no fucking power there. They're just another layer of bureaucracy. They're another layer of people at the teat of the taxpayer, taking the money and doing a disservice to everybody else. Because they allow the system to continue as it is. It's the same for all classes who are in the fonction publique, who are in the public sector. They allow this shit to continue. Bad decisions, bad policy, lack of transparency, lack of accountability. Anyway, in my cellar, it's 22.5. 22.5. In the, well, I haven't measured the attic, it's going to be about 45, I don't know. But in the bedroom, it's 31. And in the lounge, it's 28. But if I choose to, I can put a camp bed in the cellar and go down there. New builds? We don't care. Fuck you. Sup it up and don't get an air conditioner.